What's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff every Friday. I'm Andrea Renee, joined by Miss Christine Steimer.
Hello.
Wow.
And Miss Brittany Brumbacher's here.
Hi. That was great. I was hoping you'd keep going.
I was thought about going longer, and then I saw both of your faces, and I was like, I guess I'll stop.
No, I liked it. I was into it. I just didn't know what was happening, so I was like,
you were just both shocked, so I was like, oh, well, okay. Maybe it was too much for their little hearts.
Maybe it was. But welcome to the show, everybody, whether it's your first episode or your 114th episode. We're glad that you are here with us on What's Good Games to talk about what's happening in the world of video games. We all were actually together last night at a top secret event playing a video game that we can talk about in a couple of weeks, actually. It's a little bit before we can discuss what we played last night, but we had a good time doing it. So
It was good.
It does mean, though, we're all a little sleepy, right, Britt?
I'm a little dead. But I just remembered a few seconds ago while one of you were talking. Oh, it was because I grunted because you said we're on episode 114. I was half asleep on the airplane, and I had this weird half asleepy dream that some woman who I don't even know who she was told me that her favorite game was Ocarina of Time, and I grunted in approval. But the problem was I actually grunted in real life in the airplane.
Oh.
And I forgot about that, and I just got really embarrassed about it. You know when do you ever do that? Well, Steimer, I know you do that because you've woken me up before talking in your sleep. But
I feel, well, granted, I sleep alone, so I don't know if I ever do that, because it would just be me and I'd be talking to no one. But you're the only person that's ever said anything that I've talked in my sleep.
Oh,
so I feel
yeah.
like when I sleep with you, I'm much more of an active sleeper when I sleep next to Brittany than other people.
I have that effect on women and men. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but no, I just realized that I grunted in the airplane. I don't think anyone heard me though, because planes are loud. But I was very embarrassed.
No, I do the spaz out sleep thing on planes, and that's what's embarrassing.
Or are you like Twitch?
Where I fall asleep and then I feel like a jolt of panic in my body, and I just spasm awake.
Yep, I've done that.
I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, oh, I'm okay. It's all fine.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Airplanes are great.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome to the What's Good Airplane show.
Yes.
What's Good Planes, everybody. But in fact, it's not What's Good Airplanes. It's What's Good Games. And we have a fantastic site I want to tell you about called patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. If you go there, you can get access to fun tiers like the After Hours stream, which is going to be happening not this weekend, but the weekend afterwards on Saturday, July 27th. Yes, we're going to be finishing Until Dawn. It's going to be hopefully not a long time, a fun time. As Steimer said, it gets pretty crazy at the end of that game. So we're pumped for that. Of course, we also have the Happy Hour Q&A, which is open to all members of our Patreon community. And we are doing a fun little giveaway that is brought to you by our friends over at Polyarc. So you guys may know that one of our longtime producers of What's Good Games is Mr. Lincoln Davis, and he's been supporting us for a long time, and we are super appreciative, and we've talked about him before when we've done special VR segments, and he reached out and was like, hey, I have these really cool posters that were created specifically by artist Joy Ang for Twilight Garden, which was a new content drop for Moss. If you guys aren't familiar with Moss, it's one of the top-rated VR games of all time with more than 80 global industry awards and nomination. It brings to life a compelling, fantastical story in a way never before possible, and Twilight Garden is a brand new chapter for Moss, and it features the most adorable little mouse named Quill, and she goes on this really cool adventure. It was nominated for a bunch of VR Game of the Year awards last year and won quite a few. As we mentioned, over 80 global industry awards. So this is a complementary experience to existing gameplay, bringing additional environments, challenges, and storytelling to players. It's available on PlayStation VR, Oculus Rift and S, Oculus Quest, HTC Vive, and Windows MR platforms. And that update happened back in June. So if you guys missed it, we wanted to remind you that it's out. Josh Stixma, the principal designer over at Polyarc, said, "The Quest," meaning the Oculus Quest, is a game changer for the VR industry and something that we've been eagerly anticipating as developers specialize in VR. Its wireless head and tracking technology allows full immersion in another world. And of course, we've talked to you about our experiences with Quest. Both Brittany and I have gotten a chance to play with the Quest, and I have one at home. Steimer, have you tried the Quest yet?
No, I don't have any VR things here.
Well, she doesn't like shit on her face.
Well, that's I'm gonna leave that one alone. But when you come to San Francisco for our streams at the end of the month, you should try it out. It's super fun. So let me get to the whole point of this, is that we have 15 codes for you guys and 15 signed posters. If you want an opportunity to try this game out and to get this beautiful poster, we have a photo of it at patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. Head on over to that post. It's open to the public, so you don't need to be a member in order to see the post. And you just leave a comment and say hello, say what your favorite thing about Moss is or what you like about VR. I don't care. Just, tell us a bad dad joke, whatever you want, and you'll be entered to win. Then we'll randomly select 15 people from that post. You have until July 31st to enter, so until the end of the month. I do have to make the notification to you guys that you do have to be in the United States in order for us to ship that to you. So sorry to all of our international friendos. But
or you just need like a U.S. friend that will hold on to this poster for you.
Yeah, or that. That works too. Again, patreon.com/whatsgoodgames, and we'll have more of the details over there. And while we're talking about Patreon, thank you to this month's producers, Tom Bock, Alex Rigopolus, Faris Attieh, Mohammed Mohammed, and David Iacolucci. And welcome to the Patreon community, Ben Voigt, Dynamo, Arturo Hofstad, Urtia? Listen, Arturo.
Urrutia. Urrutia.
Arusha.
That's how I'm saying it.
It's perfect. Arturo, I'm sorry if I screwed your name up, but hopefully one of them got it right. Steve Saylor, Aaron Gettler, Feel and Film, and Antonio Di Donne.
Anthony Di Donne.
Anthony Di Donne.
I'm bad with names.
Anthony Di Donne is what I'm going to say. It has a nice fluctuation to it.
Anthony Di Donne.
I like it.
Yes.
Well, welcome, everybody, to What's Good Games. Without further ado, let's talk about the news. This week, the news is brought to you by Upstart. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy. Getting out of debt is hard, especially if your FICO score isn't great. Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off your high-interest credit card debt. Now, most of us have struggled with debt at some point in our lives. Like when I had just moved to LA and I had no job, no apartment, but I sure did have a bunch of student loans I had to pay. And I ended up loading up my credit cards with all kinds of expenses. Of course, that negatively impacted my credit score. And I also had to pay crazy amounts of interest. And boy, I could have used a service like Upstart back then. Upstart goes beyond traditional FICO scores when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and your job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score, so they make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes without affecting your credit score. The best part, once your loan is approved, most people get their funds the very next business day. The next day, you guys, that's super quick. Over 200,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, fund their wedding, or to make a large purchase, like maybe coming to PAX West. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot. And hurry over to upstart.com/whatsgood to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes, and it will not affect your credit score. That's upstart.com/whatsgood. Upstart.com/whatsgood. So, ladies, this week, we're starting off our news block with a story that I'm very personally attached to.
Yes.
So let me go ahead and just get right into it. This write-up comes from gamesindustry.biz. Disney hires former PlayStation portfolio boss to head up games licensing. Disney has made a key appointment that should significantly boost its video game strategy, bringing in a former PlayStation exec into the fold. John Drake spent 5 years at the platform holder working on and eventually leading Sony's portfolio on content acquisition efforts. He announced his departure via Twitter earlier this month, and last night he revealed his new role as VP of Business Development and Licensing of Games at Disney. His main responsibility will be to, quote, help pair amazing developers and publishers with the best IP in the world, end quote. He said, I've been a Disney fan my entire life. Animation, live action, Pixar, and now Star Wars, Marvel, Fox, and everything else, question mark? It's an amazing time to bring those worlds to the games and interactive space. It's a wonderful team. It takes people to make the dream a reality. Drake and his family will be relocating to Los Angeles for the new role.
Who's that?
Who's that? It's an interesting hire given the recent speculation as to whether Disney could increase its presence in the games industry. An investor suggested the company might be well served by acquiring Activision Blizzard, although said investor already owned 4.3 million worth of Activision shares. This report, however, prompted speculation from GamesIndustry.biz's own Rob Fahey, who posited that Disney needs more experienced game execs on board rather than an acquisition per se. Almost prophetically, Faye jokingly suggested that Disney should acquire Sony. Hiring Drake is probably a more sensible move. Earlier this year, Disney CEO Bob Iger addressed the company's past shortcomings in the video game space, saying, we haven't been particularly good at the self-publishing side, but we've been great at the licensing side. So, as you guys are aware, John Drake is my husband. And that means that we are moving to Los Angeles.
Yeah, you are.
Yay!
Get your ass down here. Let's party.
So this is super exciting. We announced it on Twitter earlier this week. And as I mentioned on Twitter and on Facebook, that means nothing is changing with the content of What's Good Games, except that Steimer and I will now be in the same room when we shoot the show.
Yeah, it'll be great.
It's very exciting, and hopefully it also means that the three of us will be able to get together more often since the studio will be based in Los Angeles, and we hopefully won't have to do as many remote streams, particularly for our Patreon content. So we're pumped about that. The move is not going to happen for another month or two, while we find a spot to set up shop in Los Angeles. But we're excited about the possibilities of collaborating with so many creators that live in the Los Angeles metro. We got to see a few of them at the event that we went to, the secret event that we went to last night. And people are really excited for us to be having a studio space down in SoCal. So super excited. Of course, it does mean, as I mentioned also, that I'm going to be leaving Kinda Funny, which is sad and a bummer, but I hope to continue to work with them. If you guys want to hear more about my involvement with Kinda Funny, what that means, you can check out episodes of KFGD that happened this week because I talk about it there. But, ladies, do you have any comments or questions about this story?
I think this is a smart acquirement by Disney, and I think now they're gonna have some really cool games because John's a cool guy and he has a good brain and good job.
That's my professional analysis on this whole situation.
Oh my god. Plus one to that.
This is exciting.
That's a great analysis, Britt.
Thanks. I are a professional. No, I'm excited. I'm excited for this for multiple reasons. Obviously, congratulations to John and you. I know you've been excited to get to LA for a while now, and it's like finally happening. And you guys can do some stuff together in LA. I mean, you and Steimer, you can be in the same room. And like you said, maybe that means more, it's easier to do content now that two of you are in LA, right? So
Yes.
it's like, it's going to be much easier. And it's going to be fun because it's been donkey years since we've all been in the studio together. So donkey years means something that happened a long time ago in British slang. And I had to figure out how the hell I was going to fit that into.
I like how you're like, I must do it. How? Donkey years. How?
For a second, I forgot that you were working in that piece of British slang, and I was like, wait, what did she say?
Oh, yeah, girl.
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay.
Got that off my mental to-do list.
Cross it off the list. Just a little clarification that John messaged later. He will be working on licensing for pretty much everything underneath the Disney umbrella except for Marvel. So Marvel Games has their own studio team, and that does licensing. As you guys know, they worked with John on the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game that came out last year, and they have a really robust team. They, of course, have a bunch of other games like Ultimate Alliance and Puzzle Quest, and, of course, the Marvel's Avengers with Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix, which is coming out next year as well. So they have like a really robust team, and so Disney really brought him in to kind of build that out with all of their other IP. And I think it's so smart because Disney has some really amazing licenses that we've seen in games before. I mean, clearly, you know, Disney has been around for a long time, but they shut down their own game production back in, what was it, 2014? Is that when? No, 2015 when Infinity went offline. I'm not quite sure when they...
I don't remember which year, but yeah.
When they pulled the plug. But that was really kind of like the end of it for them. And so I think it's smart of them to just work with existing developers who already have production pipelines and who have teams established. And then they're just like, hey, let's just work together on making cool stuff. But like, we're not going to make it. You make it. And we'll just license
And we'll
it.
just make sure you do it right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
very
mean, it's
excited.
smart. I'm also excited.
Yeah.
Mostly because I get to have my friends down here. Yay.
Yay. It'll be fun.
I'll eventually make my way down there. It's a slow
Yes,
process.
slowly but surely.
I did tell him that if I'm going to do one like annoying wife thing about his new job, it's going to be like, yo, when can we get that SNES Aladdin remake happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get like a remaster or something? Who's up for the challenge? Let's go.
I don't even care. I'd still take the old game. Just fucking give it to me on a platform that's now.
That's
Like-
now.
That's now. I don't want to
Now.
because I don't want to go back. I know it's available on other things, but no. But no,
At least you just got a new movie. Aladdin movie.
it did. I did not go see it.
I haven't seen it yet either. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people were like, it's really fun. Other people were like, it was super weird.
Yeah.
I feel like I think what weirded me out about it and what made me go, I don't think so, was seeing the clip on Twitter of the which song is that? That one of the songs, God damn it. I'm super blanking. My brain is like really, really tired. I'm so sorry.
It's
But
mushy.
it was basically one of the songs, like when they're coming down, he's Prince Ali. Prince Ali, that song.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with my brain right now? But that song, and it just felt real weird. Like the cartoon obviously has so much more life into it, even though there's technically more life in the live action because there are live people doing it. But it just felt real odd. I was watching it and I was like, there is something super off about this, and I don't know what it is.
I think that's actually been one of the complaints too about we're going down a weird path here, but the Lion King movie. The new Lion.
Yeah.
Because what I was going to say is, hey, at least you got the new Aladdin movie. I want to see the Lion King remake. And I'm like, hold on. We just got a Lion King movie because the Lion King Super Nintendo game was one of my favorites growing up.
Yes. The Lion
But
King.
yeah. But, you know, it's hard because realistic animals don't really have a lot of facial expressions, especially lions. So, you know,
They're like,
Dad, Mufasa!
Lion, grrr,
exactly.
father, wake up.
Dad, wake up!
Dad.
Dad.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, next story. Did we mention that we're all a little delirious? I think we mentioned that. This story comes from Polygon. Steimer, you want to read this one?
Sure. No Borderlands 3 crossplay at launch. This is coming from Polygon. So Borderlands 3 will follow in the footsteps of its predecessors with its focus on co-op gameplay, but the modern push for all platforms to play nice together won't be reaching Gearbox's shooter in time for launch, according to a new statement from studio president Randy Pitchford. Back in April, Pitchford tweeted that the team has, quote, a very keen interest in cross-platform play. But a new tweet from Pitchford confirms that the interest wasn't quite enough to get the feature into Borderlands 3 for launch. I assume this is the Pitchford tweet.
That is the
in
tweet.
here. Great. This is the tweet in question. Some folks may be speculating that this thing tomorrow may be about crossplay. Tomorrow's thing is awesome, but not about crossplay. But good news, we are committed to supporting crossplay for Borderlands 3 with our partners as soon as practicable. Wait, that's a weird word to say.
Practicable?
Practicable? Is that a real word?
I didn't know if that was a word.
I think it means maybe as soon as practical. Like as soon as
To
it
the
is
Google
practical.
machine.
Yeah,
No,
I'm like,
practicable is a word. It says
It's a
able to
fucking
be
word.
done or put
God.
into practice successfully.
Jesus, what a weird ass word no one
That's
ever
a-
says. But there you go. Today's vocabulary lesson brought to you by Randy Pitchford. A representative from Borderlands publisher 2K was able to confirm this information to Polygon, putting a further nail into the coffin of crossplay and Borderlands 3 at launch, while reiterating the team's commitment to supporting crossplay at some point in the future afterward. It's a shame given the recent push for games like Fortnite, Dragon Quest Builders 2, and Minecraft, all of which offer multiplayer across platforms. We'll have to wait and see whether Borderlands 3 is able to follow suit after release, which will be September 13th on PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One.
This is a bummer for sure. I, like many of you out there and like you ladies, are very much looking forward to Borderlands 3, and it really thrives in co-op, and not having crossplay at launch isn't surprising to me, but is definitely a bummer.
It's a sad, but yeah, exactly, not surprised, because like those deals need time to be worked out.
Yeah, when he says, but a new tweet from Pitchford confirms that interest wasn't quite enough to get the feature into Borderlands 3. What do you think that means?
It means like, oh, that sounds like a good thing, but oh, hey, contracts take time. Like, to me, that's what that means.
Yeah,
like,
because the interest is there, but it sounds, yeah, okay.
like you have to negotiate this shit. The song is like, we're interested in doing it, and everyone's like, okay. Like that's not currently how I believe that works. So
basically, what he means is, but Pitchford confirms that, and this is my word: contracts are hard and difficult, and negotiations take a lot of time.
probably. Wait, what? Yeah, I mean.
Because, okay.
You confused me with saying you're quoting Randy Pitchford, but really you're quoting me.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, Britt. Yeah, so he can't. If they are indeed working on crossplay and it is a negotiation per whatever marketing deal they may have with whatever platform they made it with, he probably does just need more time. Also, crossplay, while fun for a game like Borderlands, not necessary for server populations as it is with several of the other games that are launching with crossplay this fall, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, for example, because there is no like large player base that you need to pull from for matchmaking, because it's just a co-op game. It's a PvE game, right? And Gearbox has always maintained that they have no intentions for PvP at any point in Borderlands 3. So I hope that they add it down the line, just because it would be fun to be able to like bring my character between my consoles, or to have this cross progression. You know, like I think Destiny is planning to implement, I think between PC and PS4. Did they announce that? Maybe I'm confusing Destiny with a different game. I know Fortnite does that.
Some other D game. Division.
I would love it if they did in the Division. I don't think
I was just like wondering what other D game you could be thinking of.
I don't even know if it's a D game. It's just it's a shooter. So, and I'm sure one of you out there is listening to the show going, Andrea, it's this game. So I apologize if I screwed that one up. But again, not surprising, but a bummer. But doesn't make me any less excited to play the game.
Yeah, you're right. Destiny's getting cross-save support, Xbox One, PC, PS4, and Stadia. But Stadia is not getting that. Whatever. I remember there's a whole that big stink because, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're not getting it at launch, but they announced it on the Stadia press conference before E3. LOL. Okay. Next story, Brittany.
Yes. All right. New Nintendo Switch model with longer battery life announced via IGN.
And this is not the Switch Lite.
No, it's all coming to fruition. Nintendo has announced a new version of the original Nintendo Switch console that offers longer battery life. The new version of the console, as shown on the Nintendo website, will offer a significantly improved battery life. The new version is said to offer approximately between 4.5 to 9 hours of battery life, compared to the 2.5 to 6.5 hours provided by the current model. Nintendo notes that battery life is dependent on the game being played. An example is offered in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which can run for 3 hours on current Switch hardware and 5.5 hours on the updated console. The recently announced Switch Lite has an expected battery life between 3 and 7 hours, putting it at a midpoint between old and new versions of the original Switch design. Switch hardware units with the model number HAC001 and serial numbers beginning with XKW will have the extended battery life. The new versions of the Switch, which can be easily identified by the new bright red packaging, will be available from mid-August in the US in both gray and blue-red colors. The new model will go on sale in the UK in September, according to a Nintendo statement sent to Eurogamer. And then we have the new Joy-Cons that were just announced. So this comes from Kotaku. And the new Joy-Cons will come in 2 colors, the somewhat less impressive blue neon yellow combo, and the actually super great neon purple and neon orange mashup. And these
Dude,
are
if I could take the purple and the yellow and put them together, I would.
Yeah. Well, hold on. The Joy-Cons will retail on October 14th for $80 per usual. But yeah, you're right, Steimer. Someone actually did a Photoshop and they swapped the colors and they look so much better the other way.
Dude, blue and orange are complementary colors. Like,
yeah.
Why are you doing this?
I think the purple and the orange is supposed to be a tribute to Wario, maybe, because that's like Wario's thing. But yeah,
well, they also didn't look at a color wheel for him either, but that's not my fault.
Listen, you don't have to sell me on purple and yellow. Obviously, we love purple here at What's Good Games, but purple and yellow are my Vikings colors, so I would have been all about this. What they really need to do is allow people to mix and match the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or better yet, implement a system like Xbox does with their Color Lab and let people customize their Joy-Cons and pay a premium to customize. People will pay even more than that absurdly expensive price for the Joy-Cons if they could highly customize them. And I know that there's a lot of aftermarket for that, of course. Like
Colorware.
There's Colorware, there's Etsy, there's a bunch of others. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Nintendo printed and shipped hardware that I can buy direct from Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, again, at the very least, give me the option to be like, here are all of the right-hand Joy colors like that are currently exist in production. Here's all the left ones. You could pick whichever ones you want and make your own bundle for $80 and ship it to me. Great. Like I would do, even though that's still stupid expensive, I would do it because I am a sucker.
Or what we need to do is just get a thread going on the What's Good Games subreddit about everybody who wants to trade Joy-Cons at PAX West. And then we just bring colors, and we can do a Joy-Con swap.
I actually really like the idea of that as like a fun little thing. Instead of trading Pokemon cards, now you're trading Switch.
You gotta make sure, in the words of Andrew Renee, you don't get hoodwinked and get a funky ass left Joy-Con.
It's true. They need to be all tested on site.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Well, preferably you buy an unopened Joy-Con box from the retailer of your choice, and then you bring it unopened to the Joy-Con swap, and then everybody can open them at the same time, knowing that they're all brand new Joy-Cons. We don't want no used Joy-Cons up at the Joy-Con swap.
Don't get your germs all up in my business.
Yeah,
I don't know what you've been doing with that Joy-Con.
Girl, I can name a few things. This is Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I know I said this a million times. They just, again, march to the beat of their own wonky ass drum. And now they just randomly decide to announce, oh, we got a new Switch model with a longer battery life. Oh, the Switch Lite. We're going to stealth drop that bitch. Boom. These consoles are a thing. So, hey, cool.
I do not understand why the Switch Lite, the on-the-go Switch, does not have the most battery power of the Switches that are going to exist in the world.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird.
This is the dumbest thing. Like, you're sacrificing power for battery life. Like,
I don't know if, like, the only thing I could think is that it's weight. But I don't know. It's kind of weird, but
hold on. Switch Lite weight. Do we know?
It's a little bit, it weighs less.
Oh yeah, sheds a little bit of weight.
I doubt anybody will care about a little bit of extra weight if it means 2 to 3 hours of more battery life.
True, but I will say, so when going back to the Vita days, I had the OG fat Vita, and with the OLED, and then eventually Greg got the newer, shinier, like slimmer one, and I was like, there's no reason for that. Mine's not that heavy. And then I tried his, and I was like, shit, this is infinitely more comfortable. Even though it is on paper, you look at it and you're like, that won't make a difference. But if you are carrying something around and like holding it a lot in your hands, it really does. Now, granted, I haven't held the Switch Lite, so I don't know if that's the case here, but just anecdotally, I did notice a massive difference on the.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so the Nintendo Switch Lite is 9.8 ounces, and the regular Nintendo Switch is 14.1 ounces.
Wait, say it again.
9.8 ounces is the Nintendo Switch Lite, and the regular Nintendo Switch is 14.1.
So it's substantially heavier.
I mean, however much 5 ounces is.
Where's
Not
John
even
Drake
5
to do the
ounces.
math when I need him to?
How much is like 5 ounces roughly?
Let's see. What
I
weighs
don't know.
5 ounces? Wait,
I just Googled that too. Okay,
I only know things in pounds. I don't know things.
I'm pulling up my calculator. So give me those numbers one more time. Give me the heavy one. What's the heavy one?
14.1.
14.1. Okay, and the other one?
9.8.
Okay.
Okay. It's about as heavy as a baseball.
It's like 70% heavier.
It's about
I think I did that
9
math
tenths
right.
as heavy as a puck. 7 tenths as heavy as a hamster.
That's weird.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that could make a difference. So hey,
So I would imagine that is why the battery is not quite as good, because batteries are heavy.
Okay.
As you know, because you carry around battery packs all the time.
I mean that's but I'm thinking about it, and it's like, listen, I'm not the strongest bitch alive, but like the Switch itself, I hold that thing all day. Like when I'm traveling, when I'm in it, I never think, oh, this is so heavy. You know, it's never been an issue, especially for the length of the battery that it does last. But maybe that's a really important thing. I would prefer to
That's
have
what I'm saying. I didn't think I needed it either. And then I tried the lighter one. I was like, oh, this is nicer. Now, granted, yeah, you sacrifice things like battery life. So it is always a trade-off.
You made a very compelling argument, but it still does not make sense to me because
That's
you
fair,
use
yeah.
battery life when you're in handheld mode. And so you're like, they're saying if you want to have the best handheld experience out there, you want to get the regular Switch. You don't want the Switch Lite. And now everybody that owns a Switch currently, like all of us, go, well, I guess the Switch that we have is like inferior now. What do I do? Like sell the Switch and buy the new Switch just to get that extra battery life? Or do I say, nah, I don't really care? Like, this is just such a weird move. I'm just kind of like, once again, puzzled by why Nintendo chose to do their hardware like this, because it would be different if this was like a Switch Plus or a Switch Pro, and they were like, not only is it getting extended battery life, it's also getting a higher resolution screen for a handheld mode. It's getting faster processing. It's getting, you know, like we've eliminated all of the issues with the Joy-Cons and with the D-pads and the joysticks. Like, you know, if they had come out with like a XYZ like bullet point of why this new version of the Switch is better, I would have been like, okay, that makes sense. We all predicted this would happen. But if literally the only difference is that it has more battery life, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, it is. It's a bit of it's a bit of a
Nintendo.
feels bad for anybody that's an early adopter. But that being said, early adopters always get fucked. Like,
Yeah.
that's just
You know what
kind of
we're
how it
signing up
goes.
for.
Yeah. But I also. Oh yeah, go ahead, Britt.
No, I was just gonna say I wasn't gonna say anything new and exciting. So go ahead, Steimer.
No. Now we're passing the baton back and forth in a really awkward hot potato way.
Well,
Just
listen,
don't drop it.
we can
Drop that potato.
we can just drop this potato and talk about further plans for our Joy-Con swap at PAX West. So I'm serious about that. We'll think on it. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. If you already have a Switch, or if you think that extra battery life would push you to getting this Switch versus the Switch Lite.
I mean, no. Who's gonna be like, oh my god, haven't bought a Switch yet, but now because there's extra battery life, I'm gonna get a Switch. I don't feel like
some
that's
people.
No, I mean versus
anyway.
getting the Switch Lite. Like if people had thought, "Oh, I'm ready to buy a Switch Lite," but then like, "Oh, whoa, this one has more battery. Maybe instead of the Switch Lite, I want this one instead."
It has, yeah.
I mean, this isn't compelling enough for early adopters like us to buy a new Switch, and this isn't compelling enough for people who've been holding off on a Switch to get a Switch. I think maybe it's just better marketing for
They were just like,
future
we feel
buyers.
like upgrading this one thing. Here you go.
Yeah,
Random
maybe
people who have not adopted this console yet.
But hey, like it's good that they're improving the tech. It's just kind of we don't really see this happen, right? When was the last time a console released? And nothing, because the consoles typically don't have just battery life that you have to worry about. It's usually comes with like a whole like suite of improvements, like Andrew was saying earlier. But hey, it's an improvement and good for you. I'm not trying to shit on it. It's not a bad thing. It's just a weird way that they're going about it.
Exactly. It's not a negative. It's just like,
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how retailers deal with their existing Switch inventory and how they're going to maybe discount those Switches which have less battery life in favor of these new Switches. And maybe
it'd be shittier if they didn't and they tried to like, because technically this thing is called the same thing, and only informed consumers are going to have any understanding that they're different.
Now, I don't know
right?
how this works.
Yeah, no,
but
it's
can Nintendo buy those back from the retailers? Or I don't know how that whole process goes. Buying and selling of consoles.
Could they? Sure, but then they would have a whole bunch of inventory that they would be holding on to.
And what do they do with those, right?
Yeah. So I feel like the less morally inclined retailers will just put them on the shelves right next to the other ones and try and move them all the same.
Yikes, that could be actually really bad. I didn't think about it that way before. I mean, like, listen.
There's new packaging.
Yeah. To be clear, like, the
that's the
Nintendo
one
Switch as is a great piece of hardware. And we all love our Switches. But if there is a better piece of hardware that's the exact same price, it's kind of like,
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So maybe they'll have discounts right before this comes out. Maybe they've stopped already purchasing inventory. I don't know. I don't manage a retail store right now. But there are things that hopefully they have been doing to make sure that they aren't just royally fucking everyone over that comes to buy a Switch once this thing launches.
We'll find out next month when the stories start hitting.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Okay, let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about Ubisoft.
Ooh.
So they have confirmed that... Oh, sorry. Let me read the full title here. Ubisoft confirms full launch day lineup for its Uplay plus PC subscription service. This write-up comes from Eurogamer. Back in June, amid the hubbub of E3, Ubisoft announced that it was preparing to launch its own PC game subscription offering, Uplay Plus. At the time, a library of more than 100 titles was promised for launch, and the publisher has now confirmed the full list of games that will be available when the service arrives on the 3rd of September. A Uplay Plus subscription will cost you $14.99 a month. An official UK price is yet to be confirmed, but it also will be €14.99 a month. And it provides access to Uplay's full PC games library, which, as you'd expect, includes all of Ubisoft's blockbuster franchises, so the likes of Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, and Far Cry are unsurprisingly accounted for. Plus, all of the publisher's upcoming titles, like Gods and Monsters and Watch Dogs Legion. There's ample representation of classic series from Ubisoft's enormous back catalog, too, including Rayman, Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia, and The Settlers got a good airing, for instance, among the Steeps, Starlinks, and the Crews of the world. I dropped a link in there if you ladies want to see the full list of games. All Ubisoft titles in the Uplay Plus library will be provided in their premium edition form where available. 40 are included at launch, giving access to additional downloadable content that would ordinarily be included in the top-end version of a game. Subscribers will also gain access to titles up to 3 days ahead of launch and will be automatically enrolled in any Ubisoft betas. Uplay Plus arrives on the 3rd of September, as we mentioned, and there's a free trial running from launch day until the 30th of September. So if you guys are interested in checking it out and you play on PC, you can try it for free, I guess. So this is interesting. I remember when they announced this back at E3, and I was just like, oh, just add it to the subscription pile that everybody seems to be doing these days. But Ubisoft's legacy library is very impressive if you like Ubisoft style of games. That being said, I can't help but think, as somebody who's been a giant Ubisoft fan for over a decade now, that I'm feel a little slighted being a console player, that this is only available on PC. And like, if you're going to do a subscription service, why not make it available on all the platforms?
You know what? I'm sad it's not in here. Cats with a Z and dogs with a Z.
Oh, girl.
Come on. Throw me a bone. Give me
That
some
would-
old ass video games. I want to play them again.
Oh my God.
I can't have an animal in my apartment. Ubisoft, you saved my life when I was younger.
Those were the best games ever. We
They
should
were
do a
so
stream.
good. That's how
We
I
should
learned
do that.
HTML.
Yeah, now
Really?
you're a stud.
Yeah, because I
That's
built
cool.
a website to manage a kennel for pets.
Fucking so brilliant. Nerd. Yeah, nerd.
That was the
Um,
nerdiest shit I've ever done.
Yeah, it's interesting. Also, the price of $15 a month. Isn't Game Pass $9.99 a month?
It is, but
Yeah, but then
Game Pass's legacy library for Xbox content, I don't think is this deep. This is a deep bench of content.
yeah.
And
Oh,
I,
a deep bench, girl. I like
and
it.
also the with live bundled is $15 a month, I believe, right?
yes, the Ultimate Game Pass Plus,
Yeah.
Ultimate, or whatever it's called, Game Pass Ultimate. I
Game
think
Pass
it is.
Ultimate or something. Marketing.
So
Marketing.
it's-
It's the thing.
Yeah, it's clearly a different library, right? So Game Pass includes a lot of third-party games, whereas this is purely just Ubisoft games. And what I think is interesting is that it's like they said, the top-end edition of these games. And as you guys know, like, Ubisoft does a lot of DLC for their games, and I've really enjoyed a lot of the DLC. You know, things like in the Far Cry universe, the Assassin's Creed universe. You think about even like all the Tom Clancy stuff. I look at like all the Rainbow Six stuff that's in there is wild. And so like, I think that this is definitely, if you're into the titles, it's a good value. Again, I'm kind of bummed that it's PC only, and like the 3 days ahead of launch, getting access to titles 3 days early just because you got the PC subscription and not having like a comparable offering to console players is like, I get why. Like, my gut tells me that this is clearly like a platform negotiation issue between Xbox, PlayStation, and Ubisoft, right? They just couldn't come to some kind of an agreement, probably because Xbox has their own subscription pass and they didn't want to compete.
And so does PlayStation.
But, you know, EA also has something similar to this. You know, like back when Anthem came out, it was a really big deal that you had to be an Origin player specifically, or an EA Access player to get exclusive access. And even people playing EA Access on Xbox didn't have the same early access that people playing on Origin on PC did. And it was a big deal for me back then, and it still is like a big deal now. And don't come at me with your like PC Master Race bullshit. Like, it's never gonna happen. This PC is designed for production and editing video and editing the podcast. It's not meant for playing games. So it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, another subscription service to me. This isn't for me, but hey, I guess like you said, if you're into Ubisoft games, you go on with your bad self and you got a nice PC. I just can't keep track of all these. I mean, I can. But then I guess like the question where I start asking the questions is, let's say I want to play, you know, a certain game on Xbox. So I get Game Pass. But then if I've also subscribed to like several other different subscription services for just only a few games, am I actually spending more money than I really need to? Because some of the games like bleed into each subscription service. Does that make sense?
Right.
Right. And so that's why I don't touch this shit. It's just too much brain power for me.
For me, it's we're hitting critical mass of like all of these subscription services, because at some point you're just paying so much money. And granted, yeah, you have access to a lot of games, but how many of them are you realistically going to be able to play? So that's just something that you know, obviously personally need to manage and figure out your own finances and figure out which one makes the most sense for you as a consumer. But I mean, at the very least, there's a lot of options for you at this point. But to me, it's like there's so many options, but actually humans don't like too many options.
No,
we like a small amount of options, because then if there's too many, you just are paralyzed by choice. Yeah,
like
exactly.
Me. Yeah, and that's where I'm like, nope, I'll just buy the single games I want, and I don't have to think about it. Probably cost me more money in the long run, but that's okay.
It's like
not really.
It's like going to the Cheesecake Factory and looking at that 20-page menu and going, oh my God, what am I going to eat? Oh, you mean the same thing that I order every time I go to the Cheesecake Factory? That's right.
Oh yeah,
same
let's go,
thing we
Emily.
eat every night, Pinky. Tuscan chicken. No, I don't eat Tuscan chicken.
I was gonna say 3-egg omelet.
I'm like, Tuscan chicken is my thing.
But I think it has mushrooms in it.
No.
I think, ladies, what we need to do.
I'm thinking something else then.
No, it has the Tuscan. I just had that the other day. That was really good. We need to turn What's Good Games into like the god of subscription services, where we handle every single video game that ever publishes, and everyone will just need to subscribe to our What's Good, literally What's Good games.
Oh,
and, yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, no bullshit. We'll make it super easy for you. It'll be great. Put all these chuckle fucks out of business. It'll be fine.
Get out of here, you chuckle fucks.
I love your
It's a fun
ambition,
word.
Brittany.
We're almost there, ladies. I can taste it.
All right, speaking of Ubisoft, now, I might be too exhausted to even get into this story, but I know if I didn't include it, somebody out there would be like, excuse me, Andrea, you forgot this story. So I don't know what that
Just
voice was. So Watch Dogs Legion fan compositions completely voluntary, Ubisoft says. So this write also comes from Eurogamer. Over the past few days, what should have been a positive PR stunt for Watch Dogs Legion has evolved into a rather messy debate surrounding the exploitation of artists. The controversy began when Joseph Gordon-Levitt announced his company HitRecord would once again partner with Ubisoft on a community collaboration project, allowing fans to submit music contributions to Watch Dogs Legion, with winning compositions being awarded $2,000 for each song selected for inclusion. Since then, however, the initiative has received a significant amount of backlash on social media, with the main concern being artists are essentially being asked to contribute spec work, submitting examples or complete work without an agreed upon fee. That's what spec work means. This means artists run the risk of composing work for the game and receiving no payment for their efforts should their song not be chosen. Ubisoft's previous collaboration with HitRecord for Beyond Good and Evil 2, for instance, had drawn over 11,000 contributions as of November 2018. But it's unclear exactly how many of these submissions will be used and whether the artists have yet received any money for their work. Concerns have also been raised about the amount of money awarded to each artist, as the $2,000 is split between all contributors for that particular song, meaning individual composers could end up with significantly less than the total figure. It also creates a messy situation regarding rights to the work, as noted by Jeff Ramos of Polygon last year. While artists retain the rights to their own contribution, the collaborative nature of HitRecord means individual composers do not own the rights to the entire piece, and the finished song becomes a unique product HitRecord owns the rights to sell. Of course, people are mad about this, and in response to the criticism, Ubisoft has now issued an official statement via its Watch Dogs Legion Twitter account. In that post, Ubisoft highlighted that the game will feature 140 licensed songs and an original score created by a team of professional artists and composers. The additional contributions, no matter how large or small, from anyone within the HitRecord community are completely voluntary and are meant to give them a chance to have their own creative expressions included in the game. Of course, this hasn't gone down entirely well on social media, with some users arguing that while nobody is forcing the artists to contribute, the project is encouraging a race to the bottom and preying on more desperate artists. Some, however, agree with Ubisoft's statement, arguing the initiative provides a good introduction to the games industry for newcomers and hobbyists who just want to try their hand.
Do you want me to pick up the rest from here?
No, I don't think the rest is even worth reading, because I think that's like the gist of the article. I just like, Maybe it's because I've worked in a creative field for a very long time, and I just maybe am against the grain of what other people think, but I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with what HitRecord is doing. Like literally zero wrong. It's completely voluntary. You decide if you want to sign up for it, if you want to put the effort and the money in. This idea of it being a race to the bottom is fucking hogwash. It's stupid. You need exposure as an artist. There's just too many people that want to create art, whether it's a painting, a piece of music, a student film, a YouTube channel, whatever it is. A lot of people want to be creatives. A lot of people want to work in entertainment. And the best way to get your pieces out there is a platform like a major AAA game like Watch Dogs. And I think the opportunity to potentially have your music or your composition featured in a game of that level and be able to use it as a credential as an unknown artist is phenomenal. And again, the key being here voluntary. Now, I know that there was a lot of hubbub around how the monetization is going to work, and Ubisoft does need to be clear about that if your song does get picked, what you're going to get, whether that's them having an explicit agreement. If your song makes up X percentage of the final composition that's chosen, your fee will slide based off how much of that percentage is chosen. But a lot of artists will tell you that it can get really tricky really quickly depending on how the songs are brought together. So that piece, they absolutely need to work out, like, if your song is chosen for the game. But it is not unusual at all for a company like HitRecord to own the rights to that song after you've submitted it and it's used in a project. We here at What's Good Games have worked with companies and gotten paid for our work, but then we don't own the work own the work afterwards. The company that we worked for owns it. That's a very standard practice in entertainment.
I think doing what we do have that, where we have hustled and we have worked for so hard. We have done things for exposure and we've done things for little or no pay to get to where we are. And if there's an opportunity like this, like you're saying, to get your name out there and to get your work out there, it's a voluntary thing. You will get paid. Like you said, it does need to be clarified. But hell, like, this is an awesome opportunity. If you're so turned off by it, just say like, nope, not for me, and step away. Because when you're just starting out, you're not going to command the top rates. You have to prove yourself and you have to get your work out there. And this isn't obviously for people who have their own music production companies or, whatever. The professionals of the world are not going to be applying for something like this because, they're the ones who now have the salaries and the big contracts and they're getting paid the big bucks. But I'm with you. I don't see anything wrong with this. I think this is a good way for people to, get their foot in the door. And as long as they're not being deliberately screwed over when it comes to the payment scale, and I guess that remains to be seen, like, hey, cool. Do it. Live your best life. I can sing and what's good songs? We can be one of the songs on the radio station as like you're cruising around, in Watch Dogs, and I can be like Muppeting, and then Andrea can be beatboxing, and then Steimer can be like singing or some shit.
Yeah, no, I think they'd charge us for that submission alone.
They'd be like, you pay us.
Actually, you owe us because we wasted our time listening to this.
Well, shit.
But
hey.
yeah, I mean, I see both the positives and the negatives of something like this. Like, I do, obviously, art is a very tough industry in general, and there's always a lot of people on the internet looking to exploit artists. Mm-hmm. I really don't believe that this is intended to be purely exploitative. Of course, there's a little bit of it in the sense like you probably aren't going to get paid a lot for this. But as we said, this is really meant for people who are kind of maybe more hobbyists and or dreamers out there thinking that they could do this or they want to try it, but it's not like your full-time job doing this thing. Because if it is, then yeah, I could see why you'd be like, this is bullshit. Because like you're already getting paid work other places. So then it really is entirely up to you. I do think $2,000 seems maybe a little low for a licensing fee.
And it's split among everyone,
and a split
right?
with everyone. I
Yeah.
think the number maybe needs to be bumped up, or there needs to be some sort of like points. I don't know, whatever. Like depending on how often it gets hurt in the game, whatever. Maybe you have a sliding scale. I don't know how it works, but I think they do need to maybe revisit payment and see exactly what number feels correct, and less like, hey, we could just, because I think what a lot of people look at when they see something like this is the knee-jerk reaction of, oh, they think they'll just get a bunch of like worker bees to do all this shit for a lot less money, and therefore it will reduce cost on them and effort and all of this stuff. And like, that's not really...
No, I'm calling bullshit on that. Like, I'm calling bullshit on people on the internet who are saying that, because this is Ubisoft. They are a multi-million-dollar company that spans the globe. They don't need to catch a break on the composition fees for one of their tentpole AAA releases. Like, it's like they don't need to use the community to help subsidize the fees to develop this game. They are doing it because of the whole concept of what Watch Dogs Legion is. Like, this idea of like anybody can be part of DedSec, and like, well, let's bring the community together to have people from all over the world submit their art to be part of this game and have it be this really cool community-based thing. I mean, they got 11,000 submissions for Beyond Good and Evil 2, even after all of the controversy at E3 when this was first announced for HitRecord back then. And so it's like, clearly there's literally tens of thousands of people who are willing to participate, which is obviously why they brought it back, right? Like, it's why they're like, hey, HitRecord, clearly this was a hit. A lot of people wanted to participate. We were, you know, with the terms are almost the same. And so let's bring it back for Watch Dogs. I know, maybe I'm not mad at you, Steimer, by the way. And I know I know that you're probably just like, hey, this is like what people are discussing and what they think. I guess I'm just angry about it. Because I know how hard it is to get a break. And I did a lot of really shit jobs, and I worked for free a lot before I could start to get, you know, anybody to notice me, because that's what you have to do. Like, you have to build a resume, you have to build a reel, a portfolio, whatever your, you know, demonstration of your work is for your selected medium. And I think that this is such a cool thing. And I don't know. I will be hard pressed for somebody to make a compelling argument to me as to why this is bad.
I would also say, I think if you're trying to say that they're doing this for like a quote unquote easy way out, doing any project like this is a fucking crapshoot, right? Like, you don't even know if you're going to get what you need, and you have to go through everything. Like, I know that they're going through HitRecord, which is probably handling a lot of like the legalities around it, which is helpful, but it's still more work. It is more work for them probably to do this than it is for them to be like, you know what, we're just going to fucking license all of these songs that already exist.
And I guess what I don't understand is what would make those who think this is unethical and not good happy? Would it be a larger dollar amount? I mean, you can't possibly expect every submission to receive some form of financial compensation. Like, that's not how the world works. And if you're trying to build your resume anyway, you know, you have to make work, and you have to put in the hours to make pieces that you can shop around. So if you're doing that
at the very least, this can be part of your portfolio.
Yeah. I would be really interested to hear from someone who is, you know, who really has an issue with this, and hear like why.
Yeah, I think, I mean, granted, just based on when Joseph Gordon-Levitt came out on stage, I initially had that gut check reaction of like, what the fuck is this? Because they didn't get into the details they really needed to at that time of like, here's why we're not totally fucking over all these artists. So I think maybe, hopefully it's just something a little bit more like that, where they maybe didn't learn as much as they could have from that first announcement, and they can maybe go into the details a little bit more of like, no, we are trying to take care of everybody who wins, and like, but yeah, we can't reasonably pay 11,000 people and their work maybe isn't good. Like, so
like us, if we did our Muppeteering group, you know,
right.
Yeah, you have to pay us because we gave you work.
Yeah, Ubisoft is
Watch Dogs,
turn that shit around on us.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
there you go.
Those are our thoughts.
Yes.
Also, there is a game announced that I just want to briefly bring up, because a lot of folks tweeted about it to What's Good About Andrea and Steimer. A game called 100 Days. It's about a winemaking sim.
Oh.
Yes, it's coming soon. It's being developed by Broken Arms Games, and I just wanted to bring it up because I saw all the tweets, and apparently, yeah, it's you have your own vineyard, and you have to do all the things that go along with winemaking, deciding how long things age, what grapes to mix together. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but
That
there you
sounds
go.
cool. I'm down to check out a winemaking sim.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, get those grapes.
Is it out now?
No, it just says coming soon. I think it was just announced a couple days ago. You can
Ah.
cultivate different types of wine, analyze the soil, and choose the grape variety that best suits those characteristics. Organize work in the vineyard, such as pruning and chipping. Yeah, chipping.
Oh,
whatever.
yes. Love a good chip.
Protect your vines through treatments. Check the state of ripeness in the grapes. That sounds stressful as hell. Select the yeasts.
It's important for
Select
champagne.
the yeast.
Yeah.
Ooh, champagne.
Now I'm thirsty. Speaking of being thirsty, maybe it's time that we head into our first break so we can all get a beverage. Thank you so much for that info, Brittany. I will definitely check out that game, and thank you to whoever wrote in to let us know. You know me. I've got a wine problem. I've also got a Lego Tower problem, which we're going to talk about in the next segment. Stick with us, everybody. We'll be right back. What's good, everybody, and welcome to the What's Good Games podcast, segment number 2. This is where we talk about what we've been playing. And this week, I've been playing a lot of mobile games. Before we get to that, though, we need to tell you that it's brought to you by Earthbreak.
So, ladies, have you ever wondered what you'd do if you found yourself in the middle of a post-apocalyptic world that has been ravished by a deadly virus inflicted by aliens?
Yes.
All the time. Or maybe you're just looking for a unique date or game night that gets you off your devices and truly interacting with each other.
Who am I
got-
dating?
Me soon, girl.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Thanks, Andrea. You saved me on that one. You've got to check out this game called Earthbreak. It's all about immersive experiences, and they just announced the launch of their new post-apocalyptic themed subscription box. Earthbreak is a sci-fi game where you are a survivor on a rapidly dying Earth that has been inflicted with a deadly disease. With Earthbreak, you will receive your box of clues, physical items, and evidence each month. It's up to you to piece it all together and solve the mystery and save humanity. So here's the plot. You find refuge in a government bunker, but is it safer than the outside world? Can you trust your fellow survivors? You think you're safe now that you found refuge, but there is a council that creates and controls every aspect of life in the bunker. What will you choose, freedom or safety? Steimer, what would you choose?
Probably safety in this setting. Not usually, but in this case, yeah.
Well, not everything is as it seems in this challenging game where you must decide who to trust. Your decision will determine the fate of the story, the bunker, and maybe even humanity itself. It's been called an escape room delivered to your door where Fallout meets Alien. Earthbreak is a great way to get off of your phones and play with friends. Or if you prefer a solo adventure, you can interact with their online community to swap theories and help others out.
That me. It me.
High-quality, handcrafted clues get you lost in this post-apocalyptic world and make you feel like humanity truly is in your hands. So what I love about these subscription services is it really does get you away from the screen. And I talk about my one and only co-op partner, especially according to these ladies, Jason. We play a lot of
yeah, you don't engage with other co-op partners. He is your exclusive co-op partner.
He's my legal co-op partner. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we play video games a lot together, but there's something about actually putting down, because we have a table right in our dining room, and that's like our go-to like tabletop or subscription service box, like this area. And we like to lay everything out, and then it's fun just sitting side by side, piecing stuff together, actually talking to one another about stuff rather than just like what's happening on the TV. And it's fun to piece together the clues. And I love escape rooms, are one of my favorite things ever. And it really is like an escape room in a box, because you get this box full of random stuff and you actually have to read through it and try to piece together the clues. We have a notebook where we have all of our little notes that we, make sure we have them all written down in case something comes to us later. So it's really fun, and it's a really cool way to interact and have a date night and, pour yourself an adult beverage if you like. And then, it helps the brain sometimes, maybe not. Helps with the analysis when you get all the clues. No.
Oh yeah, wine brain, real good for that.
Wine brain, real good for that.
Is it wrong that my favorite part of this box is that it came with a refillable flask?
No.
That's also collapsible. It's like one of those like plastic ones that you can like sneak in like your pocket.
Exactly, but it's actually a clue.
It is a clue.
It's a clue. So
It's
now,
a clue that you should be getting drunk right now and playing this box.
Yeah.
there you go, Steimer. Perfect. So right now, just for our listeners, you can go to earthbreak.com/what's good for 25% off your first box. They only accept 200 members per day, so hurry to take advantage of this offer. That's earthbreak.com/what's good for 25% off of your first box. earthbreak.com/what's good. Can you survive the alien apocalypse?
That's a rhetorical question, ladies and gentlemen. We do have another fantastic sponsor on this episode, and it's Raycon. So it's 2019, as we all know, and everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds. Now, before you go dropping hundreds of dollars on a pair, you need to check out the wireless earbuds from Raycon. And I actually have mine right here. My light is making it really hard to see. Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbud on the market, and they sound just as amazing. So I want to take a second to show you guys these earbuds, and for all of our audio listeners, of course, you can find them at buyraycon.com/what's good. So what I really love about these earbuds, because we all know that there's a bazillion different Bluetooth earbuds on the market these days. I have literal pediatric-sized ear canals. Like, to the point where my audiologist is like, your ears are really small. Like, they're freakishly small. And I have a hard time wearing these in-ear earbuds because it's really difficult to find earbuds that fit. And these are the first earbuds that have enough variety of their adjustable sizes that they actually fit in my ears. And so it's been like a miraculous experience with these earbuds. And not to mention, of course, that they come in a variety of colors and they sound great as well. The company was actually co-founded by Ray J, yes, that Ray J, and celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, and even Melissa Etheridge are obsessed with these earbuds. You can find their stories on Instagram. Raycon's E50 wireless earbuds, which are the ones that I'm holding here, have totally changed the game for me. They're so comfortable and they're easy to take anywhere. And unlike some of the other wireless options out there, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet with no dangling wires or stems. And of course, they don't just look great, they sound great too. So I wanted to mention, though, I have the white ones here. If you guys go to the website, that of course is buyraycon.com/what's good. They have a pink pair that's really cute.
Yeah, the pink is really cute.
And so I might have to get me the pink ones. Raycon offers their wireless earbuds for everyone in a range of fun colors, as we just mentioned, and at an unbeatable price. And you guys, because you're listeners of What's Good Games, we are offering you 15% off of your order. So go to buyraycon, so buyraycon.com/what's good for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. If you've been eyeing a pair, now is the time to get an amazing deal. One more time, buyraycon.com/what's good. And they make great gifts too. All right, now let's talk about my mobile gaming addiction.
Yeah, you've got a lot happening on here in the mobile universe.
Maybe before we talk about my addiction, Britt has actually some really fun games that she's been playing that I want to hear about first. So, Brittany, honestly, like, I could take any of these three. You want to talk about Stranger Things? Steimer's highlighting Stranger Things 3.
I'm like, I want to know if you like this.
Okay. I could talk about Stranger Things 3. So this game came out July 4th, and I had to copy and paste the little description because I know absolutely nothing about Stranger Things. I know nothing about the show. I know nothing about the characters. What drew me into this game was the fact that it looked like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which is one of my favorite Super Nintendo titles of all time. So for those of you who don't know, this game is the official companion game to Season 3 of the hit original series. You play through familiar events from the series while also uncovering never-before-seen quests, character interactions, and secrets. The adventure game blends a distinctively retro art style with modern gameplay mechanics to deliver nostalgic fun with a new twist. And teamwork's important in this game. You can team up in local co-op to explore the world of Hawkins, solve puzzles, and battle the emerging evils of the Upside Down, whatever the hell that is, as one of 12 characters.
Oh no, Brittany.
So I wanted to talk about this because like I said, all I saw was the gameplay. I'm like, this looks like Zombies Ate My Neighbors. And then I was reading some reviews and some people said kind of reminds me of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. And I said sold, and I bought it. For not knowing anything of what's going on. I love this game. So it's so much fun, and not knowing what's happening just makes it feel like it's a 1995 SNES game where the storytelling was crap anyway, and you just kind of had to piece together what you thought was going on. So what's interesting about it is you start with the two characters, and I don't even fucking know their names. It's the
Does it say on the description?
It absolutely does, but there's so many of them I can't keep track.
Okay, hold on. Let me look this game up.
There's the kid who's dating 11. Mike.
Yeah,
Mike. And then, hold on, let me find the other character, because that's the guy Jason really likes playing as, because he has a.
Is it Hopper?
No, maybe.
The chief of police.
No.
Is it another child? Who is it?
It's a child. I don't know his name. I'm so bad at
Is
this.
he wearing a cap?
Yes.
Dustin?
No, not Dustin, but we do like him because he uses an aerosol spray.
Well,
I can't remember.
So there's Will.
Let's just go through all the names.
Oh, is it Lucas?
Lucas?
Is that a character?
Might be Lucas.
This character.
Lucas. Yeah, that's a character. That's the one he likes. I'm looking at his game art right here. Yeah. Anyway, and so you just start with these two characters, and there's obviously like you have your main missions, and then you have they're called errands that you can run, but they are essentially side quests. So your mom might be like, hey, go to the store and get me a hairdryer. And so then you have to like go to the store and get her a hairdryer, and then you get money, and then you can use that money to buy crafting materials. And then you have this huge list of things that you can craft, and then you can equip 4 or 5 things at a time that act as passive buffs. So it has some interesting, deeper elements than obviously Zombies Ate My Neighbors did, because this is a game that came out this year. But it's very entertaining. I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, but you have these different areas. I think right now we have 5 different areas uncovered. There's the mall, Starcourt Mall, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
There's a mall. Okay, yeah, there's the mall, there's the suburbs, there's the pool area, there's a cabin area.
Yep.
And it's Metroidvania in the sense that the characters you unlock each have their own specific abilities. So I think Dustin's the hacker. So whenever you come across, a panel, you have and the game is great because it automatically switches to the characters that you need to complete the puzzle. So you don't have to worry about rotating through all of them. And then you do a little hacking mini game, and then you'll come across bolt cutters, and then it's some lady who worked at Melvin's or whatever. She now has bolt cutters, and now she can unlock the doors. You can go in there. The mom. Yeah, so it's fun to keep track and unlock the new characters, because then you think, okay, I saw the bolt cutters there, and you go in there, and there's silly little garden gnomes you have to collect, and you can get really good crafting materials to make those passive buffs. And all in all, it's just a really fun game. I was really surprised.
That's so really excited. Yeah, I'm excited that it's fun, because I remember when they first announced this, I was like, oh, that looks so lame.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you like retro style games, that do have that old school feel to it, sure. I think I enjoy it. That's what it reminds me of. Obviously, I know nothing about Stranger Things, so there's no attachment to the story lore characters there, anything like that.
Brittany, but Stranger Things is so good. Why aren't you watching it? We
are planning to start watching it. That's the thing, is seeing this, and I've heard that this game does have spoilers. Obviously, if it's a companion game, it makes sense for season 3. But I'm like, what is the Upside Down? What is the Mind Flayer? Whatever the flay? I don't know what this shit is.
The Upside Down is another dimension.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 11's weird as hell, and she's in this game, and I just got her. So
she's got telekinetic powers.
Yeah, and her mom was experimented on or some shit. I don't know. This is just stuff I hear I read in the loading screens. But it's got me interested enough to the point where Jason and I, like, we don't watch TV shows, but besides just Judy, and that's all me. But this is something that I definitely want to start watching. I'm super intrigued by it, and it has the kind of like the creepy music in the background. Not really creepy, kind of unsettling, and it really sets the tone. And the banter between the characters is hilarious. You can tell that a lot of care went into the writing. It's good. It's just a fun game, and you don't have to know what Stranger Things is to enjoy it, which is good.
Yeah, that's why I was curious. I'm like, how does she feel about this? Because I know she doesn't watch this or doesn't watch anything really.
You are correct.
I'm so happy that you played this without knowing anything about Stranger Things. I don't know why it makes me so happy, because you'll get into Stranger Things now. Because John and I just finished season 3 because we've been watching it all together, and then he moved away, and so we watched the finale together this last weekend. And this season was so incredible. Like, I've loved every season of Stranger Things, and I think that's right up your alley, Britt, because it's such a good mix of like spooky supernatural shit mixed in with like,
and like
80s
retro
sci-fi.
shit.
Yeah, because the game, it takes place in the 70s?
In the 80s.
80s. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're gonna love the show, and maybe someday we'll do a spoiler cast on Stranger Things. But the game looks, it definitely looks super, super retro. So maybe I'll.
It looks like something that I would play for a show.
Yeah,
It's fun.
cool.
Maybe I'll download this for my Comic-Con trip.
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
can get it on the Switch, girl. It's on literally every platform: PS4, Switch, Android, iOS, PC, Xbox.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to talk
Here we go.
about Lego
I want
Tower.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm just gonna do a quick follow up from last week. So I talked about Lego Tower, and I have been obviously digging into it quite a bit more because I had just downloaded it because it was brand new last week, and now I have almost 20 levels in my tower, and that's with me playing a decent amount throughout the day, but I'm not playing it an absurd amount. I've been to some people's towers who have like 70 or 80 towers, like levels in their tower, which is crazy. I don't know how they've gotten enough coins to buy that many levels. But
They bought it money.
no, you can't. You can't buy the
Oh,
coins.
you can't buy levels? Oh.
No.
Then I don't know. They're just playing like a motherfucker.
I
I
like
know.
you playing at dinner.
Well, you can pay to speed up deliveries, but you can't pay to speed up selling your inventory. So like, for example, in my farmer's market level on my tiny tower, I am selling bread, and I've paid to upgrade the stock that I can hold on my level. And so I have 2 times the inventory of like the basic level. And so it says it sells out in 3 hours and 52 minutes. There's no way for me to hurry that process. Like, I can't sell the bread faster. It just takes 3 hours and 52 minutes, and then I can pay to restock it faster, so that way I can sell it hypothetically faster, but you can't rush that process. So they really this is, I think, a good example of a game that has microtransactions built in that don't feel egregious. They don't feel gross. They feel like they are complementary to the gameplay, because they're like, listen, we're only going to allow you to pay for so much in this free-to-play game. The rest of the stuff, you just got to go through the motions of doing it. And I think that is such a great example in contrast to the other game I'm playing, which I'll talk about next.
I was about to say, I can't wait. I can't wait for the next one you talk about.
And so this is just for fans of Lego, for fans of Tiny Tower. If you guys love what Nimblebit has done with Tiny Tower, Tiny Death Star, Tiny Vegas, if you've played any of the Nimblebit Tower games, I cannot recommend Tiny Tower or Lego Tower enough. It's just like, it's such a perfect pairing. And I discovered after the show last week that I can customize all of the residents in my tower. And at this point, I've got how many minifigs? I've got 35 residents in my tower, and they each have 4 customizable parts. So they've got like a hat or a hairpiece. Their face is customizable, their upper and then their lower body, and you can mix and match within everything in your collection. And it's just so much fun giving each of these little minifigures like a personality and designing them and collecting pieces. And then so this is where microtransactions come in. You can buy bucks, and then the bucks allow you to buy like a blind pack of parts. And so you can buy a pack, and then it's like you get 8 pieces and the random pieces in it, like, is part of a collecting system, just like with Lego's Lego packs and minifig blind packs in the real world. And I've just been having a blast with it. And I tweeted out that I got a banana hat, and so I now have Banandria Renee in my tower.
What is Banandria Renee in charge of?
Well, I just in charge of the lobby, so I just am there to like greet people. I'm like the maitre d'
You're
of
just
the
like,
tower.
I'm like the host of the tower.
Yeah, exactly. So I just like hang out in the lobby. I walk around, but then I go and visit other people's towers. So they have a friends system in the game. So
I saw you visiting someone's tower
yeah,
when we were together.
yeah. So I have a bunch of friends now, and I'll tweet again my friend code if you guys are
Because you
playing.
didn't before.
I'll post it on the subreddit, on the What's Good Games subreddit. So if you guys want to be friends in Tiny Tower or in Lego Tower, we can be friends. And so essentially having friends is good because every time you visit someone's tower, you tip them $10. And so that $10 is now free for them to upgrade or to rush a delivery, or they can buy a pack of, once they get enough bucks, they can buy a pack of pieces, and they can use the bucks however they want. It's a really nice way to encourage people to be social in the game and give them a free in-game currency that you otherwise would have to pay real world money for. And I just have always been a fan of these games, and it's just been a lot of fun, and I'm just loving playing this game. It's like, it feels so dumb because like I take it out just to like refresh the stock on some of my towers, and I was at like a lunch meeting the other day, and like the other person took a call really quickly, and so I just like whipped out my phone and was like, let me just update my towers. Like,
I was watching you play this last night at dinner, and I was trying to understand it. I still don't quite understand it, but seeing you so gleeful and happy makes me happy. So I support you, baby girl. I mean, in all of your endeavors.
Thank you. It's essentially a management sim, is what this game is. It's like it's a sim. You have.
Oh, look what I downloaded. Oh wait, no, it's not showing up.
Oh, good. Yay, download it. I mean, it's free.
Because I saw you playing it when we were together. We were together a decent amount over the weekend. And you'd pull out your phone discreetly at times and check this game, and I was like, What are you
doing over there? Just, stalking my tower, visiting people. But it's cool because with the friend system, you get to collect pieces. And so let's say I open a photo studio level on my tower. You want to place minifigs there that the photo studio is their dream job. But, it's kind of it's a RNG as to who's going to move into your tower. And so what you can do is you can request from your friends, hey, I'm looking for somebody who wants a photo studio as a dream job. So maybe instead of a photo studio in their tower, they have a sushi bar. And so they are like, I don't know what to do with this person who wants to work in a photo studio. So they can send it to a friend. And so you can swap your minifigs. And it's a really cool system to be like, hey, I don't need this minifig right now. And so instead of just evicting them from your tower, which I do a fair amount anyway.
Be gone.
You can send them to a friend, and it helps them out. And then you can ask for pieces back. And then they have a whole convert a character system. So they have characters from the Lego IP where you can collect specific, like, legendary, I'm using air quotes because that's not what they're called, but they're like special pieces, and then you can create these characters that are designed by the Lego team. And so you can be like, oh, I'm missing the pants piece for this character, and you can request that piece from your friends. And if somebody gets like 2 or 3 of the same piece, they can send one to you. And it's just like a really cool like swapping system to be able to encourage you to collect pieces and play with others, and it's fun. So I'll start a subreddit in the What's Good Games, and maybe I'll even start a channel in the Discord. So if you guys are playing Lego Tower and you want to like make friends and swap friend codes, hit me up.
Swap minifig butts.
Yeah, minifig butts. So,
all right. I really want to hear about yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the game that is not as fun to play when it should be, and I'm very mad about it because I love this game, is Dr. Mario World. So this game came out last week. Or maybe the week before, technically. But I downloaded it last week. And at the time when we recorded the show, I hadn't yet spent enough time with the game to see the microtransactions in play. I have now spent a decent amount of time with the game. And boy, oh boy, did the microtransactions suck in this game. And I am so frustrated because Nintendo has such an amazing stable of IP, and they could do really cool things with a game like Dr. Mario because it like really combines that match 3 puzzle strategy that's so popular with other mobile games like Candy Crush, for example. And they could really hook people because it's Dr. Mario, and they actually have done some really cool game design in the puzzle making. But the way that the heart system works is just egregious to the point where it makes me angry, and I'm fucking sad about it. So obviously Dr. Mario is another free game. You can download it. Anybody can try it out. You start with your first 60 minutes with unlimited hearts. So the hearts are part of the time management system that gates you when you fail a level. and you can fail a level in a variety of ways. It's like, you know, your standard Dr. Mario gameplay, right? The key here, though, is that unlike traditional Dr. Mario, you don't get unlimited capsules to clear viruses with. You get a set amount of capsules to use to clear the level. And that, to me, I think is really the tough part here, and where the gate really comes into play, is that even if you can figure out how to solve the level without, like, you know, screwing yourself, because really you're your own worst enemy in Dr. Mario. Every time that I've messed something up, it's because I didn't hit the button the right way at the right time, and I put the pill in the wrong spot, you know. And you only have 5 times to screw up in Dr. Mario. And that's really sucks, because, you know, if you want to sit down and have like a nice like 30 or 45 minute session, if you get stuck on a particular level, or if you're just having an off day where you have, like, you know, like butterfingers, like I get sometimes when I'm playing these mobile games, like, it gates you out right away. And then you have to pay money immediately for more hearts. And the way that they've done the heart system with the microtransactions is that there's no way to pay to unlock hearts permanently. And even if you pay to unlock hearts for another 60 minutes, it just feels like you're paying constantly. And I'm just like, I don't know how to get around it. I mean, I guess the one way to maybe kill some time while you're playing or waiting for hearts is the versus mode, which I've also tried. And it's not bad. You know, it's interesting. I haven't played enough of versus to see how the matchmaking is on a consistent basis. But I'm going to be clear, I don't want to play versus. I don't want to play PvP in Dr. Mario. I just want to do puzzles by myself and have like the soothing nature of clearing the viruses from the world, and having the toads be all happy that I've cleared the viruses, and I just want to play Dr. Mario on my phone.
That sucks. So how much does it cost to refill the hearts?
So there's a variety of ways to do this. So you can ask for hearts from your friends, which is like, okay, I guess technically you can do that. Or you can pay for hearts and diamonds. So 60 minutes of infinite play is 30 diamonds. You can buy a pack of diamonds, of 20 diamonds. Of course, they don't conveniently make a pack of 30 diamonds. They make a pack of 20 diamonds for $1.99. So at a minimum, in order to buy unlimited hearts for 60 minutes, you have to buy 40 diamonds, which is $4 for 60 minutes of unlimited play.
That's a lot.
Now,
Wow.
yeah. So when I originally saw the monetization, I was like, well, you know, it's all about the time sink, and if you think your time is worth it. When I was talking about it on Games Daily, I was like, you know, think about how much you pay for a coffee, like a Starbucks latte. Like, even like a tall latte is like $4 or $5, depending on which city you live in, right? Like, does that latte bring you as much joy as 60 minutes of Dr. Mario would? You know, it's like, so you really have to ask yourself, like, what is your time worth and how much you want to spend? And I still hold true to that. I still think, like, you as the manager of your own money needs to decide. But the thing that I thought, the longer I played and the more egregious it felt, was it just felt like it kept asking me for money just to play the game. And it didn't really provide me with an option to keep playing or to buy things that made me feel good. Like, spending money in Lego Tower makes me feel good, like in a way that I can't explain. And it's probably because you can do so much of that game without ever spending money. And they've made the gameplay loop at the beginning so much fun, because they give you 5 days of Tower Club access. So that's 5 days for free to, like, get unlimited customizations and to play as much as you want and to get a discount and everything else. That to me is a nice big chunk of, I get to practice this game, versus 60 minutes, which is what you get with Dr. Mario, to test it out and see if you like this game. Now,
is the 60 minutes, like, as soon as you get that 60 minutes, it just runs, and if you don't play it, you lose it?
So it so it ticks off your time. So it's not like a countdown timer where once you've started it, you have like a consecutive, like, it's a cumulative. So if I play 15 minutes here, 10 minutes here, whatever, like it doles it out. And I believe that's the same for when you buy the hearts as well. And that's all fine. However, what I've noticed, and I'm only, by the way, at level 35, so pretty early on in the game. I've only cleared one one whole area so far. So there's a lot of game left to go. Within the first like 15 levels, they of course introduce added stuff you can buy, just like Candy Crush. You can buy booster items, like you can buy more super ability. You can buy additional capsules, which I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like that you're making me pay for extra capsules. That's some bullshit. And then there's other items that you can buy as well to help you in your quest. Something also that wasn't explicitly explained is that you get to choose a doctor. And so there's a bunch of doctors and a bunch of assistants. And of course, I picked Dr. Peach. Peach is my bae. I love Peach. She's great. If you're going to pick a doctor, I'm like, Dr. Mario is cool, but Dr. Peach is better. Did not realize, because the game never once told me, that each doctor has a special ability that's unique to that character, which is cool. But the game didn't say, yo, be careful when you choose your doctor, because you just can't like swap out your doctor whenever you want. And I'm just like, I thought this game...
What's Peach's special ability?
So I honestly don't fully understand it yet, but I think what it does is it clears a vertical row of viruses, but it's random. So it's not like you can use her special to like pick a row that is like blocking you or being troublesome to the rest of the rows you're trying to clear. Like, it just is like RNG, like, this is the road that we're going to clear. And so it could be really beneficial or it could do literally nothing. So
is it possible to switch your doctor?
So I think so. But every time I've gone in to try to switch my doctor, it's like, you don't have any other doctors. So let me go to staffing here.
Like, what do you mean? You don't have Dr. Mario?
Yes, I can pay. So if I go to see Toad here... Toad says,
who the fuck wants Dr.
for
Toad, though?
40 diamonds, so for another $4, or for 4,000 coins, which are the ones that you earn in game, which you earn over time. Right now I have about 7,000 coins. I can choose to change my staff. And I just think that I'm just like, why do I have to pay to change my character? Like, why can't I just like swap the character and play with a different character? You've already made the game difficult enough with the puzzle mechanic, with the match 3, and the touch screen is really neat, but you got to be careful, because if you're not very precise with where you're moving the capsules around, once you've moved it up vertical, it cannot go back down. So if you are like, oh shit, I've overshot the virus that I'm trying to clear by even one row, you're fucked. Like you let go and then you're done. Like, I've had to like just force quit a bunch of levels, or force fail, because I just had like a bad row of RNG capsules coming out that were all like blues and yellows, and I had like a red that I needed to clear. And like, I think the RNG nature of Dr. Mario makes the puzzle part of it really fun, but the way that they've blocked your progress through failure by money is just, it's sad to me. It makes my heart hurt a little bit. Nintendo, why you do this to me? Now I have to quit playing Dr. Mario because you made it too expensive.
Because you keep asking me for friggin' money. Stop it.
Dude, like let me just play. Go ahead and sell booster items if you want, but like let me keep failing for free if I pay like a fee just to unlock hearts. Like, so the thing that I would love to see, I think the thing that would make this less egregious, is if the price to unlock hearts was either lower, or you got to unlock them for a longer amount of time, or you got to increase the maximum amount of hearts that you can hold. Because right now, you can only hold 5 hearts maximum. That's it.
Huh. It makes me feel icky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel icky.
It definitely feels like old mobile game design.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo.
When they were like, this is the way to do it. This is the only way people would ever give you money. And you're like, that's not necessarily true. You want to find a monetization system, like you said, in Lego Tower that makes the purchaser feel good about purchasing, because then they are inclined to keep purchasing, because you're like, oh, that felt good. Instead of like, ah, shit, I guess I got to fucking pay this asshole over here. Like, it shouldn't feel like taxes. It should feel like buying yourself a present.
Yeah, and I mean, as much money as I put into Pokemon Go, granted, a stupid amount of money. Thankfully, I didn't kick us out of house and home. I don't regret it, because that was an incredibly fun summer, and I felt like I was doing it because I wanted to, not that I like needed to continue playing. So there's definitely a difference there. Also, I heard that the Mario Kart mobile game, what's it called? Mario Kart
World Tour, I think it is.
I heard that one's also pretty gnarly. with its microtransactions and whatnot. So Nintendo, get your shit together. I love you.
It's so fixable. It's like so fixable, and I don't know if they're just working with bad partners in the mobile space or what, but like it's just a huge bummer. And I think I am particularly upset about Dr. Mario because this is one of my favorite Nintendo games of all time, and it's such a perfect game for mobile devices. It's a puzzle game. It like you just like open it, you play for a few minutes, and then you put it away. And like I don't know, it just feels this is like an example of egregious microtransactions, in my opinion, as somebody who plays quite a few mobile games with microtransactions, and it just bums me out. I'm bummed.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Sad. It reminds me of when Peggle used to be on iOS or
Peggle
mobile.
Blast, yeah. Tim and I talk about it all the time about how bad that was too.
Yeah, and then they took it down, and then they put up Peggle Blast or whatever it was called, and then they come. Oh, so stupid. Makes me so mad. Anyway.
Yeah, and I'm all for games having microtransactions and like supporting ongoing development as long as they keep adding stuff to the game. Like that's fine. But like if I can't play your game for more than an hour or two and then I hit this wall, then you've now like lost me as a customer. There's over 300,000 games on the iOS App Store alone, not even counting what's on the Android store. And you have such a small window of time to hook players in and to get them to wanting to spend money. And you done goofed.
That's why I stopped playing. I tried Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery, but they did the same sort of thing, and it was real bad. So I stopped that too.
Yeah.
Don't do it, fools.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I'm probably still going to like open it up from time to time, play with my 5 hearts, and then sadly say goodbye because I just won't pay money to unlock it on hearts.
Regenerate over time or no? Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's like 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something like that. But
so basically you play for an hour, you wait an hour, you play for an hour, you wait an hour.
Pretty much. And on top of that, the mobile connectivity, having to always be connected to a network, is so dumb. A lot of games have that, and I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a check-in periodically. Even like Lego Tower has plenty of parts of the game where you have to be connected online in order to participate. But they should have an option where you can do some of the game offline. You can't. Like, you cannot play Dr. Mario if you're not connected to a connection. And that sucks, too, because it's like, well, why don't you just let me play a couple levels, and then when I need to refresh my hearts or if I need to buy items from the shop or whatever, then I obviously have to get connected. Or obviously if I'm going to PvP. But anyway, I'm done being mad about it. I'm just sad. I'm sad. No, Dr. Mario. Okay, Brittany, let's talk about something happier, can we?
Yeah, Riverbond.
Okay, good.
Let's talk about Riverbond. This is a very quirky, unique little game. So this is developed and published by Coco Cucumber. Came out last month. It's $25. It's on PC, Xbox One PC, PS4, Xbox One PC, and it's free on Game Pass. So this is a couch co-op game up to 4 players, and it's what's that term that people use to describe it? It starts with a V. It's all pixelated looking, but it starts with a V, like VO something. I already forgot what it looks like. Anyway, it looks like Minecraft. That's like the best way to kind of Minecraft-esque.
Okay.
I don't know what this term is that you're
Voxel. Hold on. Yeah.
All my brain goes to is
Voxel. Vexel. VOXEL.
Voxel?
A voxel game.
There we go. That's the term all the cool kids are using. So I thought I would adopt it, but not even pretend to be like a cool kid and like I knew what the fuck it was. Anyway, so yeah, it's a hack and slash little shooter. It's a really simple game. There's like 3 different things you can do in it. You can jump, you can slash with your melee weapon, you can switch over to your ranged weapon, and it's so quirky and weird. And the skins in this game, you can play as an eggplant, you can be a donut, you can be a pug, you can be a piece of bacon if you'd like. There are all these really wacky skins that you can be. And then the weapons you use are like lollipops or other food items, just as crazy. And there's 8 to 10 levels total. And each level takes you maybe 20 to 30 minutes. They're each themed after different, maybe you're in the woods, maybe you're in a dungeon, maybe you're in like a desert area. And it looks real pretty to look at. It's fun to play. I can only do 1 level at a time, though. because it's fine. Not worth the $25, I would say, unless you really want to find a game that's so incredibly simple that probably anyone can pick it up and play it. Probably a great game if you have a child, if you have a significant other who's just like, hey, I want to play these things called video games. It's like, this is really easy. There's like 3 buttons you need to learn how to press. But after one level, I need to take a break because it's just the same sort of formula over and over again. So each level, you have maybe 3 different stages. You have to maybe find notes, or you have to find the key. And then at the end of that, you move on to the next area. And then finally, you get to the boss. And the boss fights are, they're fine. They're fun. It's a cute game. It's charming. It's fun to play with another person. But I think the $25 price point is a little too high. But it's free on Game Pass. Well, free on Game Pass. It's available on Game Pass. And that's how I would recommend playing it if you are interested in this game. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's cute. Yeah, it's just a silly little, Jason's always the donut and I'm always the eggplant. And it's kind of a silly combination, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah, when you think about it.
Or is it? Or is it?
That's the real question, Steimer. Or is it? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a feel-good, mood booster game. It's silly. You're going to laugh a lot. There's treasure chests to find. There's coins to collect. You can demolish almost anything in the game, and it's all cute because it's all pixely, and so the pixels go flying everywhere. There are characters you can talk to. I think there is some semblance of a story, but I don't really pay attention because it's just not that kind of game that I care about. But it's a good picker-upper and player. It's cute, but it's not. I guess I'm a little disappointed because I thought it would be a little bit more than that. When I remember when this game was first announced, I was all excited because it kind of reminded me from what we were shown, like a 3D Dot Game Heroes, but co-op. Now, 3D Dot Game Heroes was a PlayStation 3 game. So much fun. It was basically like The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, but in 3D Dot Heroes. But this doesn't have the intricate dungeon crawling. It doesn't have the skill set. It doesn't have like the upgradable weapons. I mean, there are weapons that you find, like the lollipop might do more damage than like the sword that you found, but you lose that each level that you finish. You lose all your stuff and you move on to the next one. But it's cute. It's fine.
Nice.
Capital F fine. Yeah.
Yes, I love that you're using that now. Yay.
Yeah, I said it last night and it resonated with me, and I'm like, that's a good one.
Because some things are just capital F fine.
Yeah, and that's not that's like not a bad thing.
Yeah.
They're just
fine.
They're just fine.
I just one level a day. That's my quota.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Chip away.
And Steimer has been playing the game of workouts.
Oh my god.
Yeah, if you go to patreon.com/whatsgoodgames, she has a vlog where she talks all about that kind of stuff.
Yes, I do. But if you want it for free, here's the TLDR version. Just I started going from 2 days a week to basically 5. And I know that some people work out every day and like whatever, but I don't, and I never have. Even when I played soccer, I don't think I worked out this much. And so I'm in the struggle state. I'm on the struggle bus where I want to go to bed. You may have caught me yawning a few times already. Like I'm wiped. It's too much working out for me, but I'm doing it to be stronger. And hopefully this is only week 3. So, I've still got quite a ways to go, but
you got this.
Yeah.
You'll build up that resistance, and then you'll start looking for ways to challenge your body, because your body will be like, cool, we've plateaued. On to the next challenge.
Yes, exactly. But so for right now, I've been honestly like too fucking tired to do anything but go to work. I get up, work out, go to work, come home, go to sleep. That's my life.
I'm excited for when you can just carry me around everywhere, because you're going to be so strong. You can just like throw me over your shoulder like a sack of potatoes.
Throwing like bull.
Yeah. And then I don't even need a bodyguard. I can just like fucking keep you with me everywhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Girl.
Safe.
Yes, you will.
For a second, I thought you were going to say you can throw me over your shoulder like a continental soldier.
But do your ears hang low?
Do they wobble
to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot?
Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier?
Do your ears hang low? Okay, that's enough of that.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Unfortunately, I have nothing to contribute to this week, but I do think I might download that Stranger Things business on my Switcheroo and play some this weekend because I finally have like a few days off this weekend for Comic-Con. So I'm like, woo.
You should. It's a good chill. It's a chill game.
Yeah, man.
And I have Lego Tower now. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will
dude.
send you some friends, Andrea.
Yay! I'll help you too. I'll help you build your tower to greatness.
I'm gonna build a baby tower. It's gonna be small,
tower.
You can
like me.
You can pick the color of the bricks of each of the levels. It's like so cool. I just love this game so much. Ah! And I know that there will come a day when I'm like, okay, I've reached my maximum of what I can do with this tower, and
Your fun meter will peak.
and then I will abandon my tower and all of my residents. That day always happens.
I will do the same thing. Yeah, I'm similar. Where it's like I'll get into something like this because I do like management sims generally, really hardcore for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my little.
But that doesn't mean
will
the
be
time
alone.
was wasted.
It's true.
They'll be fine. It's like all of my cats and my dogs, like that. Well, they don't exist because that computer doesn't exist anymore. But we're just like chilling, you know, in the back end of the computer files, waiting to be played with.
Yeah. They're still alive. Or something.
Still alive,
Probably not.
still alive.
Well, there you go.
All right,
not
ladies and
even
gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for us this week here at What's Good Games. We hope that you enjoyed the show today. If you like what we do and you want to support What's Good Games, or maybe you just want to get the show ad-free, patreon.com/whatsgoodgames is the place to do all of that, whether you have $2 or $10 or more. We have lots of options for membership over at patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. Please do check them out. As we mentioned earlier in the show, we will be doing our streams in just a couple of weeks. And if you want information on the cool giveaway we're doing with Polyarch and Moss for that Twilight Garden poster and code, of course, head on over there as well. We didn't announce it yet, but now we can confirm that, yes, What's Good Games Live will be a panel at PAX West. We got the confirmation. It's very exciting. We will be having our panel at 7 p.m. Sunday night in the Hydra Theater. That means that, yes, it will be live streamed on Twitch, which is super exciting for us. So if you guys are going to be at PAX, we will have more details about the What's Good Games meetup that's happening there. We don't have anything to announce about that yet, but it is happening, and it's going to be happening on Friday. That's all I can say at this time, because I'm cooking up some really cool stuff. It's going to be really fun. And then hopefully we'll see lots of you folks over at PAX. But if you're not going to be at PAX, we'll be recording the panel like we did at PAX East. And, of course, you can always tune in and watch it live, which is cool. Not every year or every show do we get the opportunity to be in one of the live streaming panel rooms. So it's truly a pleasure whenever PAX lets us do that. So we're pumped for that. And I think that's all. I have to say about that.
That's a good thing to say about that.
All right.
I'm dead.
All right. Go to sleep. Go play games. Have a great weekend. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.